Okay, so thanks for joining, everyone. Anyone who's joining us on video. Again, everyone's going to be on mute, and we're hoping to be able to record this session. We didn't successfully record last week. So today, I wanted to focus on herbs, specifically parsley, because in my grocery delivery this week, I thought I was going to get Italian parsley, and I got a huge stack of curly parsley. So what I'd like to do is make a few things with parsley and herbs, including pesto. My friend Marina was asking me for the recipe, so we'll be doing that too. But we're going to start with a favorite in my home, which is marinated butter beans. So basically, I've got 2 cans here of butter beans, which I've already drained, and I have them in the bowl. And generally what we do is I make this really, really simple, and it makes a really good appetizer. If I know that dinner is going to take about an hour or so, then I'll give Dave a little cup of these to eat as an appetizer. It's also a really good side and a really good addition to salads if you want to add a bit of protein to your salads. I'll also mention that before you joined, and this is going to be for the pesto later on, I was toasting pine nuts. So I did that first because they're still warm right now. And when you toast them, you can do it in the pan. You just have to really watch the pine nuts when you're toasting over medium-high heat until they get just a little bit of brown. And then you can't smell this, but they're a bit fragrant. And then you'll let them cool. So with your pine nuts, the key is to really watch them. They burn very, very easily, and pine nuts are quite expensive. Okay, so for the butter beans, what we're going to use is some Italian parsley or flat parsley. And just to show you the difference, there's some garlic in here too, but we got curly parsley here and then Italian parsley here. The flavors are pretty much similar, but for me, it's about texture too. And for these marinated beans, what I really enjoy is actually having the texture of the flat parsley. You'll probably notice that I have quite a few stems in here too. I actually like the stems. Stems have a lot of flavor, and any Thai will tell you that with coriander or cilantro, you actually never want to throw away the stems because the stems have the most flavor for marinating and anything else. So I remember the first time I had the trade team over for lunch, and I was making something, and in North America with cilantro, generally you'll just go with just the leaves, and they were horrified when they saw me throw the stems into the garbage. So don't ever do that in front of a Thai. They'll be really, really upset with you. Okay, so I'm doing this kind of by eye. The parsley that I just bought yesterday, and there were 2 small packages of Italian parsley. It really depends on how much you like parsley. If you don't like parsley too much, then go ahead and add a little bit less. But for me, we like parsley. And I feel it adds also some greens to this particular dish or appetizer. Okay, so, and then the rest of the parsley that I'm not using in these marinated beans, I'm going to add to what's going to be in the chimichurri sauce. Okay, so next into the bowl goes, so this is 1 small red onion that I've diced up finely. I've also put it in water first. The thing about using raw onions in cooking, I mean, I love the taste of raw onions, but I find if you just use them without giving them a rinse first in fresh water, they tend to be a bit strong. There's something called sulfides in red onion and white onion. And so if you're going to use raw onion, you really want to remove those sulfides. Otherwise, you get a very, very strong flavor. Okay, so we've got all of our vegetables. I've thrown in 3 large cloves of garlic in there. And then next will be red wine vinegar. So I'd say that would be probably 2 generous tablespoons. We'll be tasting this as we go along too. And then here I've got a spice mix that I brought back from Italy. It's really a mix of Italian spices. You can use pretty much the ready store-bought Italian spices. And it's got a little bit of chili in there too. So I'm adding kind of a handful of that. If you don't have Italian spice mix at home, you can add a mix of like oregano, thyme, a bit of rosemary if you like. And then the next thing will be olive oil. I'm just finishing this bottle, so I just wanted to use the rest of that. And then a few good glugs of olive oil. Next thing will be some salt and some pepper. Salt to taste. What you'll find is that the longer this sits, then the flavors will go into the beans. So it's always good to make this and let it sit for a day or so. And then you might want to adjust the seasonings. Yum. Then I want to add just a little bit more olive oil and a little bit more red wine vinegar. And often when I'm making pretty much anything in my kitchen, I'll be like halfway through making something and Dave will be in the living room and I'll come with a spoonful of something and ask him to taste it. So a lot of tasting in my home. Okay. Okay, so that's just about perfect. And that's the end result. And so we keep this in the fridge. Doesn't last all that long in our home, mostly because we eat it so fast. But it should keep for about a week in your fridge. Like I said, it makes a really good appetizer, makes a really good side dish, and also just in addition to salads. All right, that's one done. So that's one dish done. And in a cute little jar too. All right. So next, I'm going to work on a chimichurri sauce. Chimichurri is basically with parsley, usually flat leaf parsley, but this time I'm using curly just because with my grocery delivery, it's always a surprise what they're substituting these days when I'm ordering. So what we have here is 2 big bunches of curly parsley with some of the leftover flat leaf parsley. I've thrown in, I think there's maybe about 5 or 6 cloves of garlic. We've got over here 1.5 small red onions that are in water, and I'll drain those in a second. I've got the juice of 5 limes here because I'm basically making a double batch here because I have so much parsley this time around. So what I'll do is I'll throw this in the food processor. And this should kind of deflate in a bit. I'll also throw in those onions, so give me a second to drain these. Okay, onions, a bit more parsley, and I'm going to throw some liquid to help it to all mix together. Starting to mix together a bit better. Okay, I can't remember if I mentioned there's also some cilantro in here too, and I'm going to throw in some oregano leaves. In terms of measurement, I'd say maybe a teaspoon, but because this is a double batch, then it will be a tablespoon. Also, Also some red wine vinegar. I'm putting in 3 tablespoons here. Scrape down, slice. Okay, then this is where we're going to add some chili, strange for me. I'm using Thai chili, or you can use pepper flakes if you want, and you can do it according to your taste and your tolerance for chili. Starting with probably about a teaspoon of salt. Together now. Just adding in some more parsley, just to try and use up all of the parsley that I got in my delivery this week. Adding in also some pepper. And I'm going to add in a little bit more red wine vinegar, just from the last taste I had. And a bit more salt and a bit more olive oil. Keep in mind, this is a huge batch, right? And I plan to actually give some of this away. Almost all processed. Just need to get the last pieces of parsley. All right, so this should pretty much be ready. I think it needs a little bit more salt and a little bit more. Okay, so chimichurri, where I love having it is actually at one of those Brazilian or Brazilian steakhouses, you know, where they bring the meat in the skewers, and I can eat cups and cups of this. If you store it in containers and just put a little layer of olive oil on top, that will help to preserve it, and you can keep it for quite a while, even a matter of weeks. Over here, I have a bunch of little containers. So I'm intending on, within my building, we've got 6 other Canadian families. So I'll be giving some of this batch away to the Canadian families. Not too much so that Dave has some, because he always gets mad when I give away too much food. But this is a great sauce to have on meats, but it's actually really good on seafood too. So very versatile and a really good way to use up curly parsley, especially if you're not a big fan of the texture. And I think there are some people out there that don't like the texture of curly parsley. Okay, so moving on to the next one is, this is one for my friend Marina, who, when I mentioned I had made some pesto last week in my session, and then she asked me for the recipe. So I was going to give her the recipe, but I thought rather than do that, I can actually just show you. So just cleaning off the workspace really quickly. And for the pesto, I'm going to do it in this smaller food processor. It's the bottom part of my hand blender, my immersion blender. Now, I mentioned that I already did up some pine nuts, right? So this is about 100 grams of pine nuts. If you don't have pine nuts, that's okay. You can use almonds. You can use, I've used pistachio before. So we've got pine nuts here. I've got about 4 cloves of garlic here, and this is sweet basil, okay? Sweet basil with, I've got the rind of 1 lemon. That's not really traditional, but that's the way I like it. So I added in the lemon. I usually do that for most of my pestos. I just really feel it brightens the flavor. So I'm gonna process down some of this first. It's gonna deflate similar to chimichurri. Olive oil to try and help it process together. It's starting to process together now. If someone's joining us and you're not on mute, can you please mute yourself?
We'll just do it.
A bit more olive oil. And so now you can see all of that basil and garlic and all that and pine nuts has gone into a bit of a paste here. At this point, I'll add a bit of pepper. And then process one more time. And then we add in our cheeses. So traditionally you would use probably Reggiano. I actually have a lot of pecorino in the house right now. So I've got half pecorino and half Reggiano. And if you're wondering how much cheese this is, basically in my grater, I grated up about 3 squares like this, maybe a little bit bigger. So that's how I measure in my house. A bit more olive oil so it comes together as a paste. And then the last bit will be, okay, so you do need, the reason why I added the cheese first, and so I could get a sense of the saltiness of the cheese. Not all cheeses are created equal. And then so you want to be adding the salt as you taste along. I'm going to add just a pinch more and a little bit more olive oil, and then I think this is done. All right, and that's basically pesto done in just a matter of minutes. I would recommend keeping in a small jar, but just watch the water. A small jar, and then with a teeny layer of olive oil on top, and then it will keep for weeks. Of course, it never lasts that long in my household because we eat it so quickly. Okay, so the last thing that I want to do in the last 10 minutes, and we started a bit late today, so. Tuna Pad Krapow, a traditional Thai dish, and it's a street food, often done mostly, I think, with pork, but also with beef. You sometimes see it with chicken too. In the case of this particular Pad Krapow, I'm going to be doing it with tuna. I actually have some beautiful tuna belly fillets. Now, one of my beefs of Pad Krapow on the street is that, so they're using, what this is it's Thai holy basil. Okay, so different than sweet basil, which is what we used in the pesto that we just did. Holy basil doesn't have a sweetness to it. There's maybe a bit of more of a licoricey smell or a flavor to it. And what usually when you see it done in the streets and the stalls, they throw the basil leaves in whole, which I often feel then you get big chunks, big tastes of the whole of basil, and it doesn't really help blend all the flavors together. So what I'm going to do for you today, and for us, because we're eating this for lunch, is to chop up the basil. Because I like it. I like to have like a really good, perfect bite of all the different flavors together in my mouth. So, all right. So the basil is chopped up. This goes in last. And I like to have mine with a fried egg on top. Do you want fried egg on yours? No. Dave usually doesn't opt for the fried egg. So I'm going to use, this is rice bran oil. And I'll do the egg first, and then we'll do the rest of the fry. So what I have here is some beautiful tuna belly fillet, which is what we're going to have for lunch. So we're going to have a tuna pad krapow. And then just really important in pad krapow is the Thai bird's eye chili. So I cut up 3 chilies there. Hopefully it won't be too much. And then there's 4 cloves of garlic, just because we love garlic so much. And those will go in first after I do the egg. So we've got the egg here, and the wok is really, really hot with the hot oil. It's probably, you might be able to see the smoke. I may have to turn on the fan here. And you'll want to spoon the hot oil over the egg to help to cook up those egg whites. And that's how you do a fried egg, so that you get the yolks still runny. Okay, this is all going to move really, really fast now. I'm worried if the chilies are going to mush. Okay, so throwing in garlic. Garlic, chili, so fragrant. So you don't burn the garlic, you want to put in your meat next. So most times people use ground pork. Like I said, you can use ground chicken from my Muslim friends in Malaysia. Sprinkle of salt, although we will be adding in a sauce. So while this cooks, I'll just explain the sauce. So the sauce is a mix of oyster sauce. Usually for serving with the stew, you have like a tablespoon of oyster sauce. And then there's Thai soy sauce. So the Thais have a sweet soy sauce and a regular soy sauce. It's not always easy to find the Thai sweet soy sauce. So if you don't have access to sweet soy sauce, what you can use is just regular soy sauce. I used a bit of dark soy sauce, probably about 2 teaspoons, and then 2 teaspoons of light soy sauce, and a heaping teaspoon of sugar. So that's how you substitute for Thai soy sauce. All right. So now this is done. And basically the way I'm doing it is I want the inside to be slightly raw. Right? All right. And adding see it's ready. Of course, that beautiful holy basil. And the basil just wilts down and becomes part of that dish. That is really good. Okay, always important to taste as you go along. Okay, so for serving today, what I was thinking is I have a cucumber around here somewhere here. And my cucumber is just starting to go, so I don't want to waste it. So I thought the traditional garnishes in Thai dishes is often cucumber and tomato. But just to make it easy for myself and to introduce you to yet another kitchen gadget, this is a mandolin. It just makes slicing things up really easy. And this is so we have some vegetable on the side with our rice and pad krapow. All right, just be really, really careful when you're using a mandolin. That's all I ask. Just like being careful in this time. And there you've got all these beautiful slices. My mandolin can also do very, very fine slices too. It's a pain in the butt to wash. I can tell Dave's looking at me like, oh no, he brought that out and now I'm gonna have to wash it. And then for serving, I did up some jasmine rice this morning. Jasmine rice, krapow. Some of that cucumber on the side. And for me, a fried egg. And you know what? I think I'll just give it just a tiny bit of pepper. And that's basically lunch for us. So it's 12:30, and I've done a number of dishes. What did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 dishes. And then Dave's gonna be like washing dishes all afternoon.